Hello student, I Professor S.S.Jagtap, Assistant Professor in Kekewa Ranved College. Today we will focus on architectural modeling, which included component diagram as well as deployment diagram. In today's session, we will discuss on component diagram. Component diagram shows the structural relationship between components of a system, depicts how components are wired together to form a larger component and or a software system, which has a higher level of abstraction than a class diagram, which is created in a design step. UML component diagrams are used in modeling physical concepts, which consist of structural diagram as well as behavioral diagram, in which structural diagram consists of composite structure diagram, package diagram, profile diagram, class diagram, object diagram, deployment diagram as well as component diagram. In today's session, we will focus on component diagram. Component diagram consists of building blocks which is usually implemented by one or more classes at runtime. Large design unit that can be implemented as a replaceable module. It may use interfaces that are replaceable or reusable, provides interface to another component. Component diagram at glance, which represents an early understanding of the overall system that is being built, which provides architectural overview to an implementation staff and stakeholders. It improves the level of understanding and communication. It also helps implementation staff to make a roadmap for implementation and to distribute workload. Client can envision the structure and the functionality in the finished system. Developer also have a structure to work towards. Technical writers have to provide documentation and helps file can understand that they were writing about. And also we are ready for reuse. Component notation consists of component notation, interface, port, or required interface or provided interface. In this diagram, we will see how component can be represented. Component can be represented in this way, whereas port is represented in a rectangle, in a square. Then next is provided interface in a circle and required interface are put in a half circle. These all are the notations performed in a component diagram. Whereas interface is the formal contract of services that the component provides to its consumers to client. Components offering services which are provided by the interfaces. Component accessing services is also required for the interfaces. Basic components we can put in a order or in this way or in this way. These are the three parts which can included in basic concept of component diagram. Whereas interface can be represented in this symbol. This is the symbol which is provided for interface. The half circle consists required interface, whereas the full circle consists provided interface, and these two are nothing but the components. This is the example of interface. Next is the component diagram using interfaces. These product assessor and customer lookup are the interfaces for the component order system, customer repository, and inventory system. Subsystem of the component diagram can be represented in this way. This is the flow that customer having storefront as well as catalog or order system. This all the component consist of the store admin and order as an interface which goes to the port to store admin. Then payment as well as SQL command. These all are in a component diagram. Whereas interface is a set of operations that allow you to access a class behavior, a kind of class that only has operation with no implementation. Classes inherit operation of interfaces and implement the interfaces. This is the example for port. Port is represented to the component which is called as another component. This is the component interfaces with another component, and this joining is nothing but the port. There are some notations included as we have earlier studied that how association can be represented. Composition is there, aggregation is there, constraints are there, dependencies and links. These all are the notation included in component diagram. Whereas relationship between interfaces and classes are between interfaces and component. This is nothing but the realization or a generalization concept. Whereas dependencies an object or a component which execute on another object or component that depends on another object. There are some examples. Suppose there is a program in a Java source code. So whatever files were included in Java, that all are represented as a component. Okay, suppose there is an item.java, loan.java, title.java, reservation.java or borrow information.java, that all are represented as a component and they are related with each other in this way. This is one of the example of component diagram. Or any C++ file can be header file can represented in this diagram, like single.h header file in version v3.5 or v4.0. These are the header files represented as a components in a component diagram. So in today's topic we have only discussed with the component diagram. In next lecture we will discuss